OpenAI last week completed, or announced, I should say, hasn't completed, the largest private capital raise in history, raising $6 billion, or planning to raise $6 billion from the likes of Thrive Capital, Microsoft, Nvidia. Do you know who else invested in this raise?
I do, because I got a capital call.
Yes.
And I didn't know why I was getting asked for, it's almost the last amount of money that I owe this fund to pay in. And I was like, I wonder what they're investing in. And the answer is OpenAI. That was Tiger,
Tiger
of course.
Global, who of course you're a cornerstone of. And of course,
we're a $60 billion fund or whatever it is.
Those geniuses at SoftBank who, of course, famously invested in WeWork. So it's a $6 billion US raise, valuing OpenAI at $157 billion, making it the second most valuable private company in the world. Do you know what's number one? We've talked about it many times.
We always disagree on this, though. I think it's Starlink.
No, SpaceX, which owns stuff. No, we agree.
Oh, we agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was SpaceX. But
SpaceX, that's what I meant to say. Correct. Yes, exactly.
OpenAI has seen its revenue explode in recent years, with the company forecasting $3.7 billion US sales this year, up 1,700%, and is forecasting $11.6 billion.
You got to say that is incredible revenue.
So
okay,
16x.
Like whatever else we're going to say about this, I suspect a lot of it's not going to be nice.
Yeah, that'd be right.
That is. I mean, when did they start? 2019 or something?
Yeah, pretty well. No, it started a bit. 2015 was the Elon Musk initial capital raise.
Yeah, but like
they really started cracking then. Yeah,
like almost no companies in the world ever get to this level of revenue.
Yeah.
So whatever else you say, they definitely have found some form of product
there's
market
a massive
fit.
Asterisk here in that it loses $5 billion. It loses more than the revenue it makes.
You know my view on that, right?
Yeah.
Which is not positive. But
it's not hard to sell for $1.50.
Well, no, I don't agree with this in this case, because what they're selling, getting someone to pay $3.7 billion US for their AI platform is not like selling $1 for 50 cents. They're not saying we're giving
they literally are selling $1 for 50
No, but
cents.
they're not, because selling $1 for 50
cents.
cents.
$1 of compute for 50 cents.
No, but I think most of their costs are people, aren't they?
No, it's compute. It's all compute.
Is it?
People's nothing.
Oh, is that
they
right?
They don't have $5 billion in people costs. That'd be the most expensive. They've got like 100 people there or something. It's tiny.
It's all... all right. Well,
it's all compute. They pay us all Microsoft.
Then I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. So should we know the business will lose $5 billion this year, which is significantly more than its revenue. And losses are mostly due to the amount it has to pay for compute to the likes of Microsoft. Right. As part of the raising, it's been reported that Sam Altman may be granted a staggering 7% of the business, making him instantly one of the world's richest people. Altman denies these claims.
So no one has equity in this thing now, right?
Microsoft has equity in this
thing. But they have equity. Like, I don't really understand how this thing works. Like,
we're going to get to that in a second.
It was his thing, but he's got no equity in it.
He never had equity. Yeah. I remember he went to Parliament. That Kentucky guy was interviewing him and said, "Do you have equity?" And he goes, "No, I just want health insurance." And the guy goes, "You need to get yourself a better lawyer." And he obviously has got himself a better lawyer. You need to get yourself a better lawyer, son, is what he said. Altman denies he's getting 7%, but that will be borne out in time. It's only been basically under a year since Altman was fired by the then AI board really clumsily. He then returned. That whole board's basically, apart from one guy, has been fired. And pretty much everybody who participated in the coup or failed coup has all been fired. The last one, Mira, the CTO, leaving this week. So Altman been worth more than $10 billion. Controversially, OpenAI...
I've got no issue with that, by the way. Like, he founded a company that is worth $137 billion. I'll get to... I know you're going to say it wasn't a company.
My mouth is like
we'll get
gasping open.
We'll get to that. But now it's going to be a company, and he's the founder, and it's worth $137 billion.
Well, most founders put some equity into the business. Did he put any equity in?
Money.
Did he put a cent of equity
Almost
in?
No founders put money into it.
Most founders put some money in.
No, I disagree.
Some money.
No, disagree. Most founders have no money to put in.
Well, there's initial money in there. And there's also sweat. And his sweat, he's already got money. So his sweat's different to a founder's sweat that is really valuable to that founder.
None of what you've just said has even touched the sides of my opinion on this.
I'm staggered that you would... So Elon Musk put $50 billion of actual money into this.
I don't like
completely shafted.
Well, I don't like what's happening to this thing, but it's not because I begrudge him his $10 billion.
I completely begrudge him his $10 billion. Why are we gifting somebody all... This is similar to what happened to Elon at Tesla, which I disagree with. I think you disagree with as well. Why is somebody getting such a massive percentage of the business just as a gift?
Because he should have had it in the first place.
Well, be that as it may, but he didn't. Doesn't mean you just right that wrong by giving someone a gift.
Do you think that he... I don't want to ask you this question. If you thought that he should be the CEO and is important, then you wouldn't mind if this was the cost,
I think they could have given him 1%.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And that would have been more than enough.
Well, now
That's
we're just
still
arguing about
$1.5 billion.
All right, so your issue is not. Your issue is not that it's the quantum.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Like, I've got nothing against.
I don't want to argue.
We talk
with you
a lot about
quantum. It's
equity
so
grants.
Fuzzy, right?
Well, it's not fuzzy. The quantum it's the opposite of fuzzy. He's getting a percentage of the 157
But if
valuation.
you think if he got 20%, you would say he would have done it for 5%.
No,
you would, because it's all anchored.
No, but we know that there's generally a continuum of how much people get as a percentage. Like, if it's a smaller business, you have to get more, obviously, because there's much less valuable equity. But generally, private equity businesses pay between 1 to 10%. But the 10% is where it's like a struggling turnaround business.
What if 90% of the ability to get these high valuations comes down to people's belief in him?
Still don't disagree.
Well, there you go. We'll agree to disagree.
Because that's the case. If the valuation's based on a belief in one dude who's not a technologist, he's a whatever the hell he is, then I think I find him just so smarmy. But like, regardless of that, if that is the case, eventually the valuation will collapse because this guy is not worth that.
Unless he can deliver, like Elon Musk delivers.
Elon Musk delivers. This guy's living is a loss that's 2x its revenue.
If Elon Musk would have said, you need to give me $10 billion or I'm going to cease all of my involvement with SpaceX, I'll give him his $10 billion.
Well, he's not even running space. He's not
running it, but anyway, let's not get sidetracked by Elon Musk. So
well, we're about to go back to Elon Musk, funnily enough.
All right, continue.
So,
continue. So far, we've disagreed on almost every part of this.
We
continue.
Have. This move was essentially foreshadowed by Elon Musk, who you just mentioned, who was OpenAI's original funder. Elon pumped in, I think, more than $50 million into the organization.
50 million.
Million.
Oh, not billion, okay.
Million.
Yeah,
But this is in 2015 when it was nothing. And he's gotten zero now because basically become this for-profit thing, and he invested in the not-for-profit, whatever. Yeah. And basically in 2023, Elon tweeted, OpenAI has become a closed source, maximum profit business, essentially controlled by Microsoft. Not what I intended at all. I think we often disagree with what Elon says and does, but in this case, I'm 100% team Elon here. He's been lied to. Sam Altman is a smarmy, soft-talking thief in my view, and Elon has funded this business. And yes, he's created this $3.7 billion in revenue, but it doesn't make any money. So in my view, this business is still worthless. It may be valuable, but it's got heaps of competition.
The thing about Elon is Elon has consistently had this dichotomy of raising the alarm in an almost hysterical way about AI. It might not be the wrong way, but almost hysterical, whilst at the same time working as hard as he possibly can to take AI to the limits of what it's capable of doing.
And he's investing in Grok and
so
was it XAI, which is
and
valued
he's putting
at $30
chips
billion.
into people's brains and
Neuralink, which is that's a fantastic.
It is, but like what I'm saying is, I think mostly his fear about AI is that someone other than him will control its power.
It's probably right? That. But at the end of the day, like, this business was started as a not-for-profit, not intended.
That's my biggest issue.
It's just converted to a Microsoft repugnant private equity-owned for-profit beast that ironically isn't making profit. But
my biggest issue is there was something that I thought, oh God, maybe human beings, when faced with the ability to generate awesome power and awesome amounts of money, will for the first time actually do the right thing here. That's what I thought with OpenAI.
Yeah.
But of course I didn't really think that because I know greed. I've seen greed a few times in people.
Yeah.
And it's so overwhelming. And so the fact that this is now transitioned to how do we make as much money as possible and let's just pretend we never really had these high views.
Well, there isn't a guarantee
terrible.
There isn't a guarantee this can happen. And if it does, it's a disgrace that you can be a not-for-profit business and people getting tax deductions and all this kind of stuff. And suddenly now you can make money. Oh, I'm a for-profit. It just makes no sense at all that they'd be allowed to, presumably they have a lot of legal advice before going down this road. And the raise contingent upon becoming a for-profit business. It makes no sense that this is allowed.
But this is all greed.
Absolutely
all greed, because all of the people involved in this...
Sam Altman's the greediest guy in the world, I suspect.
Well, all of the people that are involved in this are unbelievably rich already.
Yeah.
Unbelievably rich. And so they don't need the money. They're just doing this because they can't resist the money. And actually it's something that is so important to humanity and civilization and so dangerous. By the way, if you want my view, I don't think any of these large language models are going to live up to the hype.
Yeah,
That's my personal view on it.
Yet.
Yeah, and like I've had some significant interaction with them.
Yeah.
And like it's mostly circus tricks. I tell you the thing I saw recently that is not a circus trick, which freaked me, is there's this new technology, I can't remember what it's called. It's one of these models and you can feed a journal article into it.
Yeah.
And
is it a Wall Street Journal article?
No, like a
Harvard journal.
Yeah, like, I don't know, an academic journal article or anything into it. Doesn't matter what. Any transcript of anything. And it will create a podcast out of it with two people talking with chemistry between these people.
Obviously not this kind of chemistry. But
and banter, and then going into the detail of the content in a totally digestible way. Like,
was it OpenAI or was it one of the other ones?
No, it's something else. Okay. And like,
is it Recast?
Yeah, I think that's it, Recast.
Yeah, I just Googled it. Yeah.
And it's amazing and terrifying, and it's the first thing that I've ever thought of that's
pretty cool.
That is realizing the potential of this thing, and it's not just a circus trick.